All right, what's going on, you guys? Dr. Jota here again, Dr. Jota English, and today I will be talking about, today in this video, I will be talking about the latest news that I got from Jose Felix Diaz. As you know, we are cooperating, we are teaming up for him to bring in over the best information possible and for me to translate it to English, right? Because a person like Jose Felix Diaz, who is very well connected in the soccer industry, man, he has to spread the word, right? Whether it's in Spanish or English. So I'm here to help him out, and of course I'm here to bring all over the different texts and information that he's bringing over to the table. So but before to get started, guys, I wanted to ask for your support. As you know, it's crucial for me, guys, to have some help from you guys, whether it's in form of money, maybe subscriptions, and of course if you all guys have an Amazon Prime account, that'd be much appreciated if you are able to subscribe my Twitch channel in Spanish, twitch.tv/Madrid, because that is the way to go, man. All the money I am getting paid, of course I'm going to reinvest it in these kind of things, like teaming up with different journalists and people to bring over the best information possible when it comes to football. So for example, today Jose Felix Diaz texted me this morning regarding to Chelsea, and it's about two different stories. The first one is, well, as you know, Chelsea has been signing in players all the time, right? They have signed into Madrid 1 month ago, and yesterday or 2 days ago it was Enzo Fernandez, paying crazy figures for these players. Actually, I read Chelsea has spent so far 554 pounds, 54 millions, or millions of pounds or euros, dollars, whatever. Crazy huge money. They are actually splashing all the cash out of the window. So the thing is, all the information that he sent to me today, it's about, number one, the Chelsea player that is for sale and is on the market, and a lot of teams out there might be interested in, and I'm going to unveil the name of that guy. But before to go ahead with that, let me tell you something else about Ziyech, because as you can imagine, after all the things that happened last night, 2 nights ago in Paris, when he flew off actually to Paris, he was in the PSG headquarters just waiting for all the documents to come through from Chelsea all the way to PSG, and they came but in the wrong way, or any kind of weird thing happened, right? That really messed up the signing of the player for PSG. So right now, according to Jose Felix Diaz, Ziyech is really pissed off. He didn't tell me whether it is with Chelsea, PSG, or the whole situation. My opinion is he's really pissed off with everything, everybody, and all the things that happened 2 nights ago. Because as you can imagine, man, when we're talking about teams, and especially when we're talking about big teams, big clubs, it's completely unacceptable for something like this to happen. It's completely unbelievable how these guys can mess it up in such a awful way. It's not possible, imagine, to have the best professionals in different departments working all day long every single day and then mess it up in the last moment, in the last minute. So the victim here is Ziyech, is the player who was willing to play for PSG, trying to find the opportunities he didn't have in Chelsea, and now he will have to get back to London, right, and keep playing for Chelsea just because somebody neglected sending the right documents or in the right way, because we still don't know what really happened, whether it was Chelsea neglecting, or it was just a person who didn't care, or one of the sides was not convinced at all and then they messed it up on purpose. I don't know. The thing is, Ziyech is very pissed off with everything, and of course he's the real victim, man. It's a very bad news for a player, because this 6 months, the football player age, right, is a very short career. It's a very short period of time, so you're not here to waste your time. And in the case of Ziyech, man, he has missed the last 6 months not playing enough, not becoming the player he was supposed to become once he signed in for Chelsea, and now he has 6 months ahead to stay on the bench or out of the squad. So it's not good news for him, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. Ziyech was a guy who was very attached to Real Madrid for quite a long time, like 2 years ago, I think it was, and that he was playing incredible for Ajax. He was one of the best ones. Of course, just because he plays in the right wing, was linked and attached to Real Madrid and other teams, of course. But finally, Chelsea got him, right? So that is the thing. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but let's see. And now, next up in the news, the next story I have for y'all guys is about Chelsea again and the player who is for sale right now. That player is Cucurella. The former Getafe player is apparently on the market, but on top of that, I'm not talking about, it's specifically Cucurella. That is the name that Jose Velez Diaz provided me with this morning. But also, let me tell you something else. Apparently, Chelsea want to get rid of all the players from the Roman Abramovich era. All the signings they did back in the day. Apparently, Tom Bailey, sorry for the mispronunciation, he wants to get rid of all of them. He will inundate literally the market with these players, including Havertz, Ziyech, and all others. And then they will have to make some money out of them and try to balance a little bit the budget. Because I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know where FIFA or UEFA are in these situations, man. But let me tell you, a team who has already spent 554 millions, right? Millions in signings over the last year, man. Over the last 6 months, is something that should be investigated. Because where is the financial fair play rules, man? Is that something that only works for the Spanish teams, or is something that applies to everybody? That's what we don't know, okay? So especially in these times in the Premier League or in France or wherever it is, where we are finding and coming across a lot of rich groups from the Middle East or the United States buying and purchasing these kind of teams, right, to become even wealthier, which is, I'm okay with that. The problem is, if they have to comply with the rules, man, somebody has to remind them the guidelines when it comes to signings, spending, numbers, figures, players, and all the stuff, right? Because apparently they are acting like in the Wild Wild West. It's like, man, these guys are able to do whatever they want, whereas in Spain we are struggling with our finances. The problem with Spain is not a Spanish. It's not a price market problem or inflation problem. No. Our problems are our own problems, and the president of La Liga is the main responsible for all the bad things going on right now within the Spanish teams' situations, okay? We're not blaming at all to UEFA, either UEFA or, for example, FIFA or the Premier League. No. This is our own shit, and we have to take care of it, okay? So we have to fix it up, but it starts off replacing the current president of La Liga. But that is my opinion. So let's see what happens with Chelsea, because apparently the financial fair play rules are stumbling a little bit. So let's see if they have observed and complied with all the rules from FIFA and UEFA and all that stuff, and see, man, because right now they are trying to get rid of all these players, in my opinion, to make some money and try to balance the budget, because they know they have signed a lot of players, they have spent a lot of money, and they are under the spotlight of everybody, right? Because it used to be PSG, but right now, man, it's PSG, it's Manchester City, it's Newcastle, it's Chelsea, everywhere, okay? So we got to keep them in check in terms of finances, and let's see what happens in the future, man. But my opinion is that we got to be careful with all the things happening in football right now. And the other thing is, as you probably may or may not heard about the not Supreme Court, but the Justice Court in Spain yesterday ruled in favor of the European Super League. So that might be a threat for some clubs that are now spending a lot of money in crazy signings, okay? That might be a wake-up call for them, and the things might change in the near future. So let's wait and see what happens, man. But these guys should be in check in terms of finances, and somebody has to keep them in check, right? We have to have a person responsible to take care of these kind of things, man, because a lot of people out there are thinking these kind of moves, man, are not quite fair for other teams and even for football is not good. So let's see what happens, man. But these guys, I mean, in terms of Chelsea, you gotta know these guys are trying to get rid of a bunch of players, and of course they will keep signing and signing in more players.